Hello. Right, this video is covering 4 days, unlike the others, which I think have mostly been 3. Frankly, they were all a bit rough, and I didn't feel like it. If you thought the aura and blurry effect from my screen cover slightly coming off and obscuring my camera was needed last time, then whee, do I need it this time? Terrible. The whites of my eyes are mostly blurred. The skin is really red and terrible, but it's a reaction to the antibiotic. So yeah. So day 12 was a rough night with more fevers. Sometimes they were like 39. And I woke up with a swollen face. I looked like a dog who'd eaten bees. The last dose of methotrexate was today. That day, my white blood cell count went up from 0.14 to 0.59 and newts from 0.05 to 0.41, which was just an amazing rise. I wasn't expecting anything like that. They did tell me though that the methotrexate might wipe them out a bit, but it's just good to see that the stem cell factory is in good production. So day 13, I'm on an antifungal to try and stop the fevers because they don't know why it is yet, and they warned it could come with some hallucinations and that sort of thing, and although that might sound fun, it was just horrible. I had a really confused night, waking up every few minutes thinking someone was talking to me or all sorts. It was really weird. So it made me feel a bit low. The rash spread to my legs, and I had more bad fevers in the night. My throat cleared up loads though, which was really nice. And that might be because my white blood cell count jumped up from 0.59 to 2.59, which is just way more than I thought, and the neutrophils from 0.41 to 2.4, which is amazing considering the methotrexate. I feel rubbish from the fevers, and I was desperate to get out. Still am. I felt like I hadn't had more than an hour's sleep at a time for weeks, really. But it's not their fault. They're just keeping me well and alive. They took out my Hickman line in case that was the source of infection, and that was all pretty easy actually, and I'm cannulated instead. So day 14, an even worse night with the antifungal. I couldn't deal with it, so they've agreed to stop it since my fungal markers now came back and they were negative. On the plus side, for this day I had no fevers throughout the day, got my awful feeding tube out, which made me feel so much better. The white blood cell count is now in the normal range even for a normal person at 5.27 and neutrophils at 4.9. So thank you, donor, for such a powerhouse stem cells. My HB is stable, so I haven't had to be transfused. Platelets are going up, which is brilliant. They're taking me off the menapenem antibiotic because they think that might be what's causing the rash, but they have to wait 72 hours from the last spike to think about releasing me, which means at least another 3 days. Which, despite all the good news, is, well, it still feels like it's a long time, but I know why. I understand why, because being re-hospitalised, if they didn't do all this due diligence, would be way worse. I'd end up on a ward, maybe for longer. And then today, day 15, the rash has gone a bit from my face. I had some water retention. I put on 5 kilograms, but that's subsided now. Dropped on 2 again. The eyes are really red and dry, so I think this is all potentially from the menapenem, which they've taken me off. And none of this is really in comparison to some of the symptoms before. The Hickman line was positive for bacteria, so at least it's kind of confirmed. White blood cells are still rising at 5.77, neutrophils at 5.4, amazing. HB still stable, platelets still on the up. And I know I'm really lucky for this to happen so soon because some people don't even start till this point. They're still hoping to get me home in 2 to 3 days, and I got some sneaky intel from a nurse that if a pharmacist, because they don't work the weekend, don't come to see me tomorrow, which is Friday, I'm probably stuck here till at least Monday. So I'll have to just deal with that when I get to it. It's funny. Sometimes I see the reflection move from my glasses, and you get to see my zombie eyes. Um, so that's where we are. Doing well, feeling pretty lucky. Haven't done as much exercise as I had, but I'm letting myself off because all the fevers. It would have been a bad idea. I'm gonna try and do a bit of yoga. Okay, signing off. Bye.